Salutations and good morrow everyone, and welcome back to another Grounded update video where today we are covering patch 2.1. Yes guys, there is another update that has been released for Grounded, but this is just another one of those hotfix patches guys where they're finally fixing some of those really hard bugs that we have all been running into, some graphical issues and more on to that. So let's start off by saying exactly what it says in the patch. First off, it says, hello everyone, today we are releasing patch 0.2.1. For all players, please update your game when you see this. The update is available to receive on the following fixes and changes. Okay, so this is the first hotfix that they've released since the 0.2 update, which gave us the bird, which gave us the finger, which gave us everything else that came with the update. So let's talk about it first off. It says top community issues. The chat log will now show your own messages in the lobby and in each game. Ants will no longer be able to steal items from containers out of reach of them. You can now overwrite saved games. Saved games are grouped as by playthrough in the save in the load menu, so you're no longer gonna have just 30 saves and not knowing which one's the right one. Fixed an issue where the camera would go inside of the player while in third person, and then the camera while you were near specific structures, and also they adjusted the grub audio. All those are good things to come. The chat log is kind of I'm okay without that one. The ants are no longer going to be able to steal your items. That's huge, because I hate it when I have a chest somewhere that's really high up and all of a sudden you have like an ant sound of stealing something. It's like, my chest is like 5 times higher than where you are right now. How are you stealing my items? So that now makes sense. Now I bet you that's going to mean they're going to be a little bit more aggressive trying to get into your base to get your items, but right now, that's what we got. This is where we're at. The grub sound, that needed to be turned down. It was way too loud. The camera going inside of your player's head, that was a funny thing that would happen, but good, it's no longer going to happen anymore. The grouping though, the save grouping, that's nice, because I have multiple different playthroughs on multiple different times where I do different tests for you guys, where I'm in the developers mode, where I'm not in there, where I'm doing creative, where I'm doing single player, where I'm doing, you know, all the way to WoW playing, just to kind of see what all that is. So it's going to be nice that all of it is now going to be grouped together instead of me having to scroll through 700 save games that I have and hoping I click on the right one to get back to finish a video. Let's move on to performance here, guys. Performance, better render performance when dealing with dynamic shadow culling. In other words, in lack of nerd speak, they fixed shadows, so it's not going to be, so it's going to run faster. There you go. That's going to be the lack of nerd, the lack of nerd understanding. There you go. Major fixes: they added a message that will notify PC players when their system clock doesn't match the server clock. This issue prevented these players from hosting or joining games. So if you guys were having problems joining or hosting games, that could be one of the reasons. Save games now show an icon indicating if it's a save that was made while playing single player or multiplayer, affects new saves going forward. So that's an interesting thing. That's different. I didn't see that one coming, but that's actually pretty neat. More accurate handling of cloud save upload and deletion for Xbox and Windows 10 store versions of the game. Once again, this could fix a lot of you guys' save game issues you guys are running into, where maybe your saves are disappearing, or maybe you guys are having other problems like not being able to join people. This could be one of those reasons. Then they have save game max storage on Xbox and Win 10 has been increased from 256 megs to 1 gig, takes effect on reinstall. Okay, so that's kind of a bummer to hear. You guys are going to have to reinstall your game for the Windows 10 version if you guys didn't buy it on Steam, or for the Xbox version. But what that's going to say is a lot of you guys who are saying, I had 300, 400 days in game, I built massive structures and my game just disappeared. This could be why, because your game size got over 256 megs, which is a huge amount of space. But even still, if your save games got above that, this could be why they were being deleted. So all you guys have to do is sadly reinstall the game, and you guys won't have that problem again. I know it's a pain point, but guys, they're working on it. At least they're fixing it, and it shouldn't happen again. And lastly, under major, it says fix the issue with saves triggered while having an unplaced building blueprint could cause the save not to be able to load. So we're not going to have any more corrupted saves when it comes to having an unplaced building blueprint anymore, which is going to be good, because corrupt games stink. I hate it when we get corrupt games, because if you have a corrupt save, you could lose a couple minutes of progress, or you could lose a couple hours of progress depending on when your last autosave was. So this is super helpful. Moving on down here to general fixes, including gas damage effect was missing from the fresh defense mutation. Yes, so now your fresh defense mutation is going to now buffer out some of the gas damage that you're getting. Fix items that are moving with the physics and time for saves not being able to be saved into games. So in other words, if your things are moving inside of your multiplayer games, fix clients not being able to see other players AIM their bodies and when they look up and down. So in other words, not be able to see people, now that changed. Added Acorn Shovel recipe and Pebblet Foundation recipes that could become available with Burgle's tech chips. Okay, here we go. Included an Acorn Shovel Plus recipe, so you're going to get a better Acorn Shovel and Pebblet Foundations that will be available from Burgle's Chip Swap Shop when completing the Chip Sleuth Cold-Blooded Burgle quest when turning in the stained Burgle chip, which you get from the paint area. I'll talk about that. Enlarge mint container and resize the mints to make them slightly smaller so players can get into the ice cap container more easily, which is awesome. It's good that they did that. I doubt it's going to be a lot bigger, but we'll have to see when we play a little bit later on. Collectible SCA.B properly disappears on clients when picked up. So in other words, if you guys pick up a SCA.B and on multiplayer, if it doesn't disappear, now it's going to. Included a fix for the missing leaves throughout the world. So now we're going to have the leaves that belong to be where they're supposed to be in the game. Slide mold stock patches properly disappear on clients when the entire stock is collected. So yeah, you're not going to have it anymore, just one or two of them just sitting there not being able to be collected anymore. It's now going to disappear completely, which is awesome. Another big one is the wildlife update. Wildlife for water fleas. We are no longer going to have water fleas just flying out of the water and flying away. They're all going to stay within the water, inside of the rash pond, whatever you want to call it. Rash marsh is what I call it. The swamp, rash swamp, whatever you want to call it. That area where all the water fleas are, they're no longer just going to fly away. Let's talk a little bit more about items, equipment, and resources. Added a unique icon to the simple bed, so it's no longer going to look like a lean-to when you go in and build it. It's actually going to be a bed, which is cool. Gas arrows can now be picked up as regular arrows after being shot. So you're not going to get gas arrows back, but at least you're going to get your arrow back. Gas arrows now deal twice as much damage. Holy crap! They've doubled the damage of gas arrows, which is going to make your archer perks even more powerful now. So guys, definitely start making some gas arrows. Gas arrow recipe now produces 2 instead of 1, which is even better because now not only are they doing double damage, but you're also going to be able to make double of them, which means you're going to be able to do a ton of damage, just a ton of damage to people as quickly as you can with gas arrows. Okay, feather arrow, like I said, they were going to fix it. The feather arrow recipe now produces 2 arrows instead of 1. Now I'm assuming that they're going to be fixing the feather arrow further. We just have to look more into that. Fixed an issue where players would respawn inside of the simple bed instead of next to it. Good, so you're no longer going to get stuck. That's a good fix. Weapons now do the proper damage type when thrown. Oh, so that's interesting. I never did a test on that, but maybe that means bombs will no longer be able to just blow up a bunch of grass planks, which is kind of a pain because gas bombs are always an easy way to get the Grassmaster perk. But just get your axe out and cut down some grass planks. And then lastly, fix the tropical juice not spawning juice drops from the straw, which is good because that was just another place where we were trying to get juice out of, but it wasn't producing it from the straw. It was falling out somewhere else. So that way you couldn't use your water container in order to collect them to fill up your grub sack. Okay. Lastly, we're going to go on to UI. Adjusted the linkable highlight to less intrusive. So, more or less, the interactable highlights now isn't going to be as in your face. It's going to be there, but it's not going to be as in your face. And fixed a certain key item showing an audio log model instead of a sheet of paper model. So yeah, so now when you guys find something special, I'm not going to tell you what it is. Hint, hint, hint. A special note, maybe. It's no longer going to pop up as showing that it's an audio log. Now it's just going to be the piece of paper as it's supposed to be. And we have one more final caveat here from the Obsidian staff himself that made Grounded. Thank you for your reports and continued support. While we further develop this game, we are working to push updates to enhance your gaming experience continually. So in other words, guys, there's all sorts of new things, guys, so keep your eyes out, keep looking, and there's always going to be more. But thank you guys all so much for watching this video. If you guys liked it, please hit that like button. If you guys have any comments or anything, questions for me, please hit me up in the comments down below. I would love to answer you guys' questions, or you guys can go to my Discord. I'm always there, and I'm always willing to ask questions. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to turn that bell notification to all so you never miss any Grounded videos. And as always, I will see all of you guys in the next one.